Hi, I'm Douglas Griffen, founder and director of the Advanced Strategy Center here in Scottsdale, Arizona, and now co-founder of a new organization called WIQ Pinnacle. WIQ Pinnacle is responsible for the development and support of the WIQ software platform. It's used for collaboration with large organizations here in Arizona, nationally, and across the globe. For the last 25 years, I've been involved in the development of collaborative software platforms. Sometimes initially in rooms like this, where we initially started, where we would bring in groups of 15 to 25 people. We call them decision support centers. Work on fundamentally key decisions, aspects around strategy and brand and so forth, and they were very effective for a period of time, but you had to be in the same place at the same time. Now with the software platforms online in a cloud-based environment, I can take groups of 50, 75, even 100 people simultaneously with a combination of voice and data to work on issues that really matter to the organization. So what's the problem we're trying to solve here? The problem is very fundamental. It's a level of disengagement in large organizations today. Gallup estimates that $450 to $500 billion is lost in productivity annually in just the US alone by disengaged employees. CEOs and executives want their organizations to be together, to have influence and input on the issues that matter to the organization. The problem is, quite frankly, employees and stakeholders are scattered all across the country, all across the globe. With WIQ Pinnacle and the WIQ software platform, we can bring them together in a real-time session that allows their voice to be heard on issues that really matter. Let's take a closer look at what the WIQ platform is all about. Well, here's the solution we're talking about. It's the WIQ platform for what we call digital engagement across a broad set of applications within large organizations. Now, very key to this, these are real-time facilitated sessions, typically lasting an hour to 2 hours, very focused. Web browser access, that means there's no software to download. Multiple languages to support a global kind of organization. And all this is about accelerating decisions in a way that truly engages our business participants. Now, the WIQ software platform, in terms of the tools, is a wide range of tools that covers open ideation, also consensus building for rates and assessments and scoring, short surveys to take a look at different kinds of options and scenarios, and at the end of the session, the ability to pull an action plan and an overall session document that really moves the overall session forward in terms of action. Now, there's two key market segments that we're addressing. Large enterprises with 500 plus employees, there's a lot of them out there, and they have the very common issue of trying to create engagement. And secondly, consultancies with a repeatable methodology, brand, purpose, culture, strategic planning, the ability to apply those within large organizations. How big is this market? We see an initial addressable market of $250 million in just the US. You could expand that globally and extend that to smaller organizations. And from a validation standpoint, U.S. companies spent approximately $4.5 billion in collaborative platforms in 2016, and that is accelerating. Now, finally, we validated this with enterprise-level clients. Over the last 3 years, we've conducted more than 500 sessions with 10,000 participants across the globe and 200 different customer organizations. Large organizations such as KPMG, GSD&M, the Omnicom agency in Austin, Texas. Heart and Mind Strategies that deals with strategic communications, Nielsen, that you know, of course, from market research, and Ipsos, a global consultancy. Now let's take one more look at exactly what WIQ looks like. So let's take a look at WIQ from the eyes of the end user, looking at a few screenshots from a session that we ran early this year for VF Corporation. You may not know VF as a name, but you certainly know their brands, North Face, Lee, Wrangler, and Reef, just to mention a few. Now these sessions, when you log in, you go to an agenda screen so you can see a series of activities, and then moving on to the next screen, participants are automatically moved to the next activity, in this case an open ideation question, to talk a little bit about what really creates passion for them about the organization. In a period of 2, 3, 4 minutes, we could have literally 100 to 200 different responses that reflect the voices of those particular participants. But importantly, during the session then, we go ahead and we do something called categorization. We theme these based upon the responses of the users, and now we have a smaller set of those, but very key themes. Here, these represent core values of the organization. Once we have those key themes, then we can immediately move their participants over to an assessment of these to ask them how important these might be for the culture of the organization in the future. Here you can see a result of these, some 65 people, immediately seeing the results reordered by the importance of each of these for the culture in the future. And then finally, short surveys, we can embed those at any time. These might be demographics or different kinds of scenarios. Gives us a very rich level of data analysis once the session is completed. So let me wrap up with a couple of final comments. So welcome to WIQ. I think you can see why we're excited about the future of the platform. Thank you for taking time to evaluate our investment application.